It begins not with a whisper, but with the question that echoes across the boundaries of faith, borders, and memory. What makes a village disappear? Not in maps, not in stories passed down by grandmothers, but in the flesh, gone, as if night itself had swept every last soul away beneath the quiet hush of moonlight. Our journey tonight takes us deep into the heart of southwestern China, into a place called Xinjiang, though you won't find that name on government websites, and even local officials hesitate when asked. Xinjiang was once a living village, nestled among terraced fields and winding roads where the fog settles thick and the air hangs heavy with the scent of river and pine. But all that's left now are fragments, an abandoned bus stop, still painted with schedules, a playground blanketed in dust, and scattered shoes beneath doorways that haven't opened in years. Here, I searched not just for the vanished, but for the story of absence itself. It was the summer of 2011 when the first whispers emerged. A truck driver claims to have passed through Xinjiang on a rainy Tuesday, delivering sacks of rice, and noticed that nobody came out to unload them. By autumn, students from a neighboring school had begun trading ghost stories. Their teacher dismissed such tales, but she herself would recall, months later, that her daily commute, a routine of chatter and waves, suddenly stretched silent all the way past the village boundary. 2 winters later, when an investigative team from the provincial capital arrived, they found not a single living resident in Xinjiang. Official records spoke of 463 people, but census forms bleached by rain still clung to wooden doors, listing names for a place that was, without warning, a void. It would be easy, perhaps, comforting, to write Xinjiang off as folklore, another shadowy myth in a country where villages are sometimes erased by dam projects, highway expansions, or government decrees. But this disappearance was different. There were no bulldozers, no legal notices, no relocations, just an entire population gone, with crops still growing wild and teacups still sitting, half-finished, beneath plastic covers. I've stood beneath the drooping bamboo in the village square, listening for clues in the wind, poring over grainy cell phone videos posted by travelers and amateur sleuths, grainy footage of empty homes, half-written letters, and a police cruiser that pauses, then turns away. The search became global. Online detectives combed through satellite images, chasing what they thought were signs. Newly laid gravel on a remote ridge, a cluster of tents a dozen miles away, a sudden blackout in provincial data streams. But every theory led, eventually, to silence. Was it migration, emptying out the countryside in favor of city lights? Yet locals in surrounding townships, old women playing chess, men hauling vegetables, insist that nobody left by road or rail. Gone, not gone by choice, one elder whispered, eyes never leaving the mountains. There are stories of villages elsewhere, erased by environmental catastrophe, floods, landslides, earthquake zones that swallow roads. But records from Xinjiang show no seismic activity, no alerts, no mass evacuations. Some blame Xinjiang's infamous ghost cities, government-built zones awaiting future residents, creaking with vacancy, while old villages waste away. But Xinjiang was not scheduled for any such project. Satellite scans show no newly built towers, no foundations poured, no demolition scars. Few clues remain. One child's worn backpack, a faded ID card tucked behind a stove, a wooden plaque scrawled with a poem about the land of dreams and shadows. These are not the markers of an orderly relocation. So we turn to the records. Official notes, media reports, expert opinions. Security logs show no unusual activity. No spikes in traffic or phone signals, no emergency alerts. It's as if time itself paused. I reached out to Dr. Lin Wei, an anthropologist specializing in China's rural societies. Mass disappearances, she tells me, are usually collective, not sudden. There are always records, resistance, diaspora. For this scale of vanishing, without documentation, something truly disruptive must have taken place. But what? Some online sleuths point to unexplained police operations or secret environmental contamination. Others chase wilder possibilities. A landslide erased all evidence, or a mass migration triggered by secret warnings. But still, every official investigation concludes unexplained absence, no foul play, no diaspora, no catastrophe. Yet for those who lost family in Jingyuan, the ache lingers. One mother speaking on encrypted chat described calling her cousin's phone, ringing and ringing until the line died one night and never worked again. Another remembers visiting the village for Spring Festival, only to find windows covered and no one replying to knocks on doors. This is not the first time a community in modern China has vanished beneath the official radar. In 2001, a remote village in Sichuan faded from maps after its mine collapsed. But survivors turned up years later in city tenements, reuniting with relatives via newspaper appeals. In Jingyuan, so far, no reported survivors have surfaced. Is this an unsolved mass disappearance or an erasure of collective memory? What forces might move a village from the living to the lost, from census lists to legend? And for all the theories, environmental disaster, police secrecy, shadow migration, what remains are questions louder than any answer. Why were there no searches, no alerts, no national coverage? What new technology or silence might sweep an entire village away in the 21st century, a time of endless digital records and government surveillance? Standing at the edge of Jingyuan's playground, dust billowing over empty swings, I am reminded of the stories every society hides, not for conspiracy, but because loss makes us uneasy and language fails to express what absence truly means. Tonight, the case of Jingyuan village closes without resolution. The bus stop still lists routes nobody travels. The river glimmers in moonlight, its banks untouched, and somewhere, a child's drawing waits, pinned to a classroom wall, its colors fading with each passing season. But as long as stories are told, as long as questions are asked, the village is not wholly lost. The ache of absence remains, echoing in phone calls that never connect, in shoes never reclaimed, in letters never posted. Sometimes what's erased leaves the deepest mark. This has been The Village That Vanished, a story from the edge of what's known and what's left behind. If you're watching, ask yourself, how do we remember places that disappear? And what truths still wait in the shadows of absence? Good night, and never stop asking.
If this story made you think, or if you find value in exploring the mysteries others leave behind, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us bring more true investigations, cinematic storytelling, and hidden histories to light. Stories that might otherwise disappear. Like, comment below with your theories or questions, and don't forget to hit the bell so you won't miss the next chapter in our search for the truth. Thank you for watching and for being part of this journey into the world's unresolved mysteries.